Like, so through your days in the entertainment industry, it's like a crazy extortion situation you probably seen and been around.
I got one wild one, and I got a
BL story time. BL story time.
I got one wild one, man. So let me see how I start this off. And I got to, when you tapping into these type of stories, you got to deal with them a certain way.
Right.
So I won't mention who was doing the extorting, but somebody that I'm cool with, friends with, good person, and we've had these conversations. Like him being my man, like, yo, you wouldn't be able to pull that off with me. And I'm not saying that you couldn't have those moments where you did, but I'm gonna adjust and anyway. So Pharrell.
Okay.
We all know Pharrell.
Sure, you got
biggest producer. Oh yeah, that's right. Damn, that's crazy.
Right. Crazy.
This is crazy.
Crazy.
Everything lines up, right?
Everything lines up.
So Pharrell, we all know, one of the biggest producers in the world. And not only that, if we know Pharrell, it's like Pharrell's the skateboard, backpack kid, don't bother nobody, out the way.
Right. Fashion. Just want that fashion.
Come on,
right.
man.
Beautiful women around him. Chill.
Legend could have, you know what I mean? Could have pressed Pharrell.
Oh,
my dog. Like, I'm just saying.
Right.
That's not his energy.
He
but
chill.
But he had some people around him, which is like family to me, that are like that.
Okay.
That are
right.
with anything that you bring. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my big brother Daryl Schuler out of Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly.
Yep.
Family.
He's the one that started out with Teddy and Pharrell and all those guys out in Virginia, man. So, and Daryl Schuler, let me just give you a little history on. He's a Philadelphia legend. We call him the General.
Used to have A Street Lounge popping.
Yeah, I'm saying. Daryl Schuler is a Philadelphia legend, OG. To me, top dog ever to come out the city. And it ain't up for debate. You feel me?
It ain't up for
debate. Daryl Schuler. Shout out Marty, his brother, the whole family, right? Him and Pharrell had a relationship.
Okay.
And I built a relationship with Pharrell through Daryl.
Okay.
Right? Through Daryl. There was a moment where another friend of mine I didn't know at the time, I wasn't aware of this, was extorting Pharrell. Right? So I got a phone call. Trying to make sure I'm not leaving nothing out. I got a phone call. Now, mind you, the person that, well, I'll leave that alone. So anyway, I got a phone call from Daryl Schuler, and he was like, yo, man, need to holler at you. I think I was mixing. I was like, all right, give me a second. We get on the phone. I said, what's up, DS? He like, yo, we got a problem. So I know when DS say that, I'm like, oh, it's
a problem.
It's to the max.
Right.
Oh, what my baby DS to get started, man. What's going on, DS? So DS, he like, hey, listen, man, some guy that you know got his guys down here, and they putting some pressure on my man, and he got him doing some things that, unwillingly.
Yeah, we not. Yeah,
he ain't supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I may be not all the way factual, but I was understanding that he was cutting them a check for like $100,000 a week and producing music for free. So producing music for free and cutting them checks for over $100,000, whatever it was, right? Whether it was weekly or I don't think it was weekly. I don't think it was monthly. That's not enough for them. But you know what I'm saying? So,
but why?
Yeah. So, but let me say this: the person that they're speaking of, he goes at bullies too. He just don't go at guys that he feels not secure enough. But he felt like people in this industry need to pay their dues. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The more I've grown in this business, I kind of understood his concept, because people don't respect nothing else. You understand? But I won't go into that. But I ain't gonna lie. As I've grown in this business, I kind of called him back later. It was like, I kind of understand. I don't understand Pharrell, but I kind of understand some of the other plays.
Well, I'll let you finish that story. And we going.
Yeah.
We going.
Okay. So DS is in his mode. So he's like, yo, BL, listen, I'd appreciate if you can either make a call and we get this shut down, or if not,
right,
it's gonna be what it got to be.
Right.
And I'm here, so it ain't gonna all that he was doing before. That's dead. You feel me? So I'm like, I'm knowing what I got here.
Right.
I got a real problem.
You in the middle of some fire.
I'm in the middle of some fire, but this DS is like my brother. This is my brother.
Right.
OG, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is my brother, and this is my other brother, but DS is my family,
it's
genuine brother. And
Philly blood.
I've grown a relationship with this other gentleman, right? To be like family as well. So I'm like, oh, here we go. So I said, all right, DS. And sometimes it's sticky for you to get in situations like this. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is too. I got it.
They both respect you. They both.
Yeah, I gotta shut this down. So I call my other guy and I'm like, hey man, the only thing I say to him is say, damn, Pharrell. That's all I had to say.
And he knew what you was talking about right from there.
Oh, of course he did. I mean, this is one of his.
That's all you said when you got on the phone.
Damn Pharrell. You wouldn't know if you know. Like
this was my biggest one of my biggest paychecks.
This is one of my biggest
weekly.
paychecks right now. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So
what he did? Hung up the phone.
Nah. So when I said that, he said, "Yeah."
Damn.
Confident and straight to the point. Yeah. Him.
Yeah, nigga, I get you too. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like,
something like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Strong like that. So I said,
boy,
yo,
vicious.
Yo, vicious, right? Vicious.
Yo, boy, vicious.
So I say, yo, that's my man. He said, that's not your man. That's not your man.
Hey, yo, that's
right,
not your man.
All
That's
this you
not
trying to say right now.
that's not your man.
Right. That's
That's not your man. I ain't never seen you with them like bro like that. We ain't never even just like that's not your man, bro. That's not your man. I said, that's my man. Just as stern as he was saying it wasn't, I said, that's my man. And it was like just like this, a pause. And he came back and said, Bill, that's your man? I said, that's my man.
Then pulled out his gas, started shooting that nigga.
Bro, man, that'd have been a tense ass. Man, if I was in the room hearing that conversation.
Pistol whipped or something. Man,
so he said, so you asking me to back up out of this. I said, yeah, I'm asking you to do that for me. And he didn't touch a lot of. I didn't been around him. Everybody's paying their dues to him. But this, I'm stepping in. DS is involved. I ain't got to do with nobody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this my, you know what I mean? He said, this is what you want me to do, right? This is, now, I understand what you stopping here. I got da-da-da-da-da. And then not only that, it was I'm trying to figure out how to backtrack about the person that he has down there. The person that he has down there conducting everything in Pharrell's stable is like, he wild. And I didn't think that they needed him. Like, he's one of his wildest soldiers. I'm like, bro, why you got him down there?
You don't need him for Pharrell.
Yeah, you need, like, you could have sent Legend. You know what I'm saying? My dog. But anyway, I'm not talking down on Pharrell.
Right, but he's
just not, he's
not
a,
ain't that street nigga.
Man, he's not a street guy.
Yeah. That's not your man.
That's what we going with, Mac. That's not your man.
Remember this line. That's not your man, because that's gonna relevate later in the story, and I'll tell you how. So he said, "Okay, I'm gonna shut it down." He said, I told him my man is down there. He said, "Yeah, get your man on the phone." Here we go. So hold on, listen. So I call DS, and I punched the three-way in, right? I said, hey, DS, my man, DS. So he like, yo, what's up, man? He like, yeah, listen, man. So my man DS jumped straight out the window. He like, hey, check this out, right? Listen, I know you got a relationship with my little brother, but what you got going on down here, that can't happen. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, that gotta, so
can't tell her.
My man jumps in his bag.
Like, don't.
And this is what he say. I know of you and I've heard of you, but this ain't what you want. Let's put my man on the phone. And
speaking about you,
talking about DS. This ain't don't. In other words, like saying don't get involved in this.
Right.
This ain't. I know of you and I know about you, but this ain't what you want. And my man said, DS like, I want everything.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Damn. So
niggas going against
so
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Right.
they both the same style.
Right.
So I jump in. I say, yo, hey.
Got to.
Hey, I got to, because it's about to go left on the right here with them. Like, this ain't going to get done.
30 seconds, right.
Somebody going to say something like, no, I can't. Me and you got to see each other now.
Right.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I jump in. I jump straight in. I say, hey, man, come on. DS, do me a favor. Let's get his other man on the phone. Let's shut this down. We ain't here for the ego. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's a whole ego. You ain't going to tell me what to do.
So,
yeah.
So DS like, yeah, all right. You feel me? So he get his man on the phone, and my man say, hey, yo, pack it up. Take it. We're going to wrap it up. His man say, what? Nigga, this is the easiest. I've been sleeping all day. I'm on the couch taking a nap. This is a layup. What you mean, pack it up? Damn. He said, pack it up. All right? So, get off the phone with his man, and then my man is still on the phone. DS is not on the phone. We hang up on that call, that side of the call.
Okay.
And my man say, hey, man, I hope that's your man. I hope that's really your man. I hope he supports you in that way like you supported him. I'm going to holler at you later, BL. We got off the phone.
Dip.
So they dip. Shut it down.
Uh-huh.
The SB, now at that time, I'm working with Roy Jones Jr.
Mm-hmm.
The SB Awards is coming up.
And in July.
I'll tell you a little, I'm going to go off to another little story and go back to that. Mm-hmm. I'm not at the ESPYs with Roy because I learned this from Aaliyah's plane crash. Aaliyah's plane crash was because the plane was too heavy. Right? Mm-hmm. They got the film director off. They got all the film equipment. And the pilot said, we getting there, but we still a little heavy. Mm. Security said, man, we ain't trying to hear that. Fly this plane. We got to roll. Because he said, we right there. We still a little heavy.
Right.
So me knowing that, I always, on PJs, if the pilot's saying it's heavy, hey, check this out.
I'm not getting on.
Man.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all.
Take me. I'm the first one off. I don't, and I'll explain to everybody else my story before I roll. Hey, listen, man, don't play with no weight thing. Right. And not only that, sometimes those pilots, they try to satisfy the customers, celebrities. Mm-hmm. I can make it happen. No.
Right. My life and my safety is way more important than any. Yeah.
So we getting on the PJ to go to the ESPYs. Mm-hmm. The pilot told Roy the plane's a little heavy. Hey, let me get now. Me and Roy talked about this. I said, "Yo,
you see that black bag?
That black bag? Yeah, get that for me." He said, "No, I think I can adjust them back." No, you ain't got take mine off. You ain't got to adjust a damn thing for me.
I'm the same type thing. No, I'm cool.
Yeah,
my book cool. Bag right there. Can you pass that?
And it was only like, I think it was maybe like 6 to 8 of us, but it don't matter. I know that story.
Right.
I don't want to. And I told them, I said, "Yo, after I get off, if it's still heavy, I advise everyone else to move accordingly." You feel me? Boom. And really, Roy needed me there more than maybe some other guy. But I'm like, yo, I'm off here.
So real quick, how do they know
me and Roy's able to go to these and make a lot of plays. So
how do they know if it's too heavy or not once y'all
I guess
the
plane has a weight limit.
Okay.
Also, you'll notice, like, even on regular planes, like on Delta, like if they have a less amount of people, they'll try to spread them out to make the plane even.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They actually, hey, you mind going back some? Because
that
this
makes
plane
sense.
is not full today, and we need to make this weight even.
Move this weight, right. Okay.
So
ESPYs,
I didn't. So now it's the ESPYs. I'm not there because of that reason. Pharrell bumps into Roy Jones. They're backstage
at the ESPYs.
At the ESPYs.
Okay.
So when he sees Pharrell, he's like, "Yo, what's up, man?" He said. So he called me and told me this, but he said Pharrell hugged him, and it felt like it may have been for like a minute or two, but it felt like 10 minutes, and he wouldn't let him go. And he was like, "Yo, love you, man, love you. Where's BL? Where's BL?" And he was like, he's hugging me, and he keeps saying, "Where's BL?" I'm like, "Oh, he ain't come, man."
Right.
But he's not letting me go. He's not letting me go, right? This is just, he will not let me go for like, it felt like too long of a hug, like my nigga. Like,
right,
all
right. What type of time you on?
So now, Roy knowing, because Roy has been in a situation that I've helped him with as well, he calls me backstage and says, "Yo, I just ran into Pharrell. What did you do for him?"
Oh, he
I know you did. He didn't know.
Okay.
He could tell the way Pharrell was that I did something. So he was like, "What did you do for him, bro?" Like the nigga asked me, told me, love you, and asked me about you for at least, it felt like 5-10 minutes, bro. I mean, not
Right,
really,
right,
but,
but
you know,
yeah,
in that
in those
situation, you feel
moments,
like,
it seemed
damn.
longer, right.
So I said, man, I had to, you know, get some guys off his back, man. They was you know, extorting him a little bit. You know, he was like, a little bit, you know, just whatever.
Right.
So he like, oh yeah, he was like, man, he was like, he really like, I'm like, yeah, he had a tough situation. I helped him through my man, right? So
Where's the ninja at?
what ninja?
The ninja that was going to say this ain't it.
The the one that was down
Yeah,
there.
where's the ninja?
Oh,
at?
he's upset with my man because he
Okay.
called it off. So he's back up wherever he's back.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right, wherever he at, right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't even
Back
do
in
the
the
geography
cave.
thing.
Yeah.
Back
So
in the
they back in the
dungeon.
cave. Yeah, they back in the dungeon. So I said, yeah, I helped him, man. He, you know, he had some heat on him. He was like, yeah, all right. He was like, that nigga was like, he just kept asking me, where's BL? Where's BL? Where's BL? So anyway, we get past that. So now, as time goes on, me and my man talk again. You know, we talking through it. He was like, man, you in the music business and you really did something major for him, man. And he ain't, you got any Pharrell beats or anything? Like, he did something
Right.
for you? I was like, nah. And I didn't do it for that.
Right.
I didn't do it for no beats or for him to do nothing for me. I didn't stop your extortion from me to extort him.
And then you ain't even, for real, of course you helped him and did it for him, but you ain't do it for him, though.
Yeah.
You did it for
Yeah,
DS.
yeah.
Like,
And-
that was on
yeah,
that.
I
That
did
was
it-
on that
yeah, it was for
family.
DS,
Yeah,
right.
It was on that family.
And I
time.
think just knowing him, anybody look at him like,
Like,
man, you feel
come
bad.
on,
Like,
right.
yeah, you feel what I'm saying?
Oh, little Tommy. come
Exactly.
on.
And like I said, I've built a relationship with him through Daryl. So we had some good times together. He came to Philly. We hung out on South Street. He had
Right.
his show. He was doing the Nerds, and he had the clips. That's
Right.
where I knew the clips.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
So we spent some time. So it was always definitely through Daryl, but I had a little love for him too because I knew, and I felt like, man, he's like a skateboarder. Back
Right.
he ain't bothering
Right.
nobody. You feel me? He don't need.
Now, I ain't gonna
You know what I'm
lie.
saying?
With saying all that,
But hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So this is the thing. Till this day, that person calls me, or if I call him, the way the conversation starts is, do you have any Pharrell beats?
damn.
If I call him right now and put him on speaker, he gonna be like, yo, you got any Pharrell beats? You with Pharrell? That's how the conversation's gonna start.
Yo,
And that was 10
this
years, it's a
guy?
decade ago. This is years ago.
Do you feel like that
who is
damn?
this hottie?
Do you feel like that? I don't want to say damage, but is that like a? Do you feel like that put anything on y'all relationship?
No.
Okay.
We better than
Who
ever.
is the hottie?
Okay. We gotta talk about that off camera.
yeah.
We gotta
Yeah,
talk
we
about that off
better.
camera.
Me and him is better than ever.
Do you need a pen pal?
Okay.
Nah, he home. He
Oh,
ain't-
hey,
he
how
ain't
you
locked
doing?
up.
But one thing I'm gonna say though,
Yeah.
Pharrell, I need Louis. I need some Louis shit.
So right.
we
yeah,
need
yeah.
some Louis. We need some Louis.
Yeah, but I haven't. You know what's crazy? I haven't seen or spoken to Pharrell in many years or seen him, but. Yeah, that's how we start that conversation, man. You got any beats? And I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't do it for that. I didn't do it
Right.
for no
Got any
beats.
beats?
You know what I'm saying? I did it out
So-
the kindness of my heart.
Yo,
With-
he's,
no, that
he
shit
ready.
crazy.
He hot and ready.
Who's that?
Little Caesars right now. he want to do
Yo,
whatever it
that's-
takes right now.
That's
Little
crazy. Let me ask y'all this. So